All right, guys, so this is going to be a fast video here on the daily metrics report. And instead of the Ad Insight tiles where it just shows you a snapshot based on the bulk ops report range, this one's actually going to pull in your product advertising report and show you a daily breakdown of basically any metric you want to see. You can go to Ad Insights Daily Metrics and see the ones that we've got programmed in there right now. And then there's an Add More Insights button that we'll hit after we initially sync the metrics to give us some of these extra columns off to the right and left that are going to help us kind of cross-reference our bid override table along with some of the top of search product pages placements, and also see our campaign budgets and things like that. So I'll just run down through how to build this report out real quick, and then you can duplicate it in your account and just see how powerful it is. So what you're going to do is go to Apex. You're going to go to Daily Metrics, Download Advertising Report. I want to make sure you're already logged into your Amazon Seller Central account, and it's just going to drop you into your advertising report spot. If you've already got one created as far as the product advertising daily report, you can see it's daily over here, and it's the last 30 days advertising report for sponsored products. If you don't have it created yet, just click create report, sponsored products, change this to advertise product, make it daily, and it'll be defaulted to last 30. And you can go ahead and hit now. I think if you set it to recurring, it'll actually refresh each day, so that might be useful for you. But I typically just come in, and if you click here, run report, and you'll see when it refreshes that it's let's see, yeah, it's got the date right there, and when it's done, it'll show you the current date and time right there, and then you can just click this little button here. And I've got a folder that I keep in the Google Drive account for product advertising downloads, and I'll just name it the date, and you want to use the last 30 days again. So once you have that, save your Google Drive, go back to Apex. And the idea here is you'll just go same way we did before, file, import, find the folder, product advertising downloads, grab that, hit insert new sheet, import data. And it's just going to import our ads report as a separate sheet in here. This is going to be my data here, so it'll be blurred out, and you won't actually have these other sheets as well. Let me just delete these. All right, so you'll just import this report, and it'll look like that, and then you'll go back up to Ad Insights Daily Metrics and do Sync Metrics. All right, then you'll get a prompt, just hit OK and let it finish, and you'll see it defaults to basically it's got your days of the month up at the top for the past 30 days, and then it's got all your campaigns off to the left there. And then you can change essentially the metric that you're viewing just by going to Ad Insights, Daily Metrics, and then picking one of these. It's showing the orders right now, and it's sorted by the campaign with the highest number of total orders over the past 30 days at the top. So those are really your, as far from a campaign perspective, the highest converting campaigns. But what's really useful with this report is if we add these additional columns. So to do that, just go back up, Add Insights and Daily Metrics, Add More Insights, and hit yes. All right, so once that finishes, you'll get an idea of what you're looking at here. Basically, you've got obviously all your campaigns here, and this will be blurred out because it's my account, but it's also got some information related in column BU to your bid override table. So if there's a target that you've picked out that are in one of these campaigns that's on the bid override table, as well as the first instance of if you have like multiple targets from one of these campaigns on your bid override table, it's only going to show you the first target. But if you go back to your bid override table and like sort it by orders and so your highest orders at the top, it'll always show you kind of that main target that's generating most of your orders. So you can just at a glance see, okay, from this campaign, this is the target that's really performing well, and this is kind of the past 30 days results from the the settings, the bid adjustment settings and optimization settings that we currently have set. But what's nice is if you look off to the far right here, it's got a total ACoS, total spend, total orders, and conversion rate. So these columns here are just based on total placements from top of search, product pages, and rest of search. But then the columns here actually split it out by top of search and product pages, so you can get a really good idea of where you're converting the most. And based on that, you can decide, what strategy in the bid override table for these targets that you need to either keep up with, or maybe you make a change and start bidding more at the product pages level. So you can see here, we've made 43 sales as opposed to 20 sales at a much more favorable ACoS on product pages with this defensive campaign, which makes sense because those are going to be ASINs at the product page level usually, or placement level. But you can see I'm bidding, the cost per click is about 33 cents as opposed to 90 cents. So I've obviously at one time throughout these 90 days or 30 days rather, bidded higher, and you can actually check. So say you've got a day here, like for this one where I made 9 orders, you can actually just double click on that, and it's like the other report's going to open you up a static file, but this one's actually going to have the cost per click right there at 30 cents. So for that certain day I was converting at 30 cents, which if I look here, top of search placements 28 cents and product pages is 28 cents. So that gives you a good indication of which cost per click override, if you will, you might want to set your bid override table target to in order to hopefully duplicate that performance, because it did really well. Now let's pretend here you can see I have some campaigns that were doing well, but they're all of a sudden not generating any orders. So similarly, you can see which product placement or which ad placement was converting the best. In this case, again, it looks like it was the product pages. Yeah, so this default data is screwy, so it's not quite accurate, but at any rate, you would look at the placement that it was converting the best, and you can double click on these as well, go dive into them a little bit deeper and just try to figure out what could potentially have been changed, that maybe you start seeing your cost per clicks going down. Maybe you've paused one of these terms that you otherwise shouldn't. You can go and reverse that back. So it's just at a glance a good way to kind of keep track of, over the past 30 days, how your bid adjustments have been either improving, or in some cases you can hinder the results, especially if you were bidding at like top of search, for example, and making a lot of sales, and then you've changed your bid input settings to bid lower and favor a better ACoS, but maybe you're now getting the product pages placement. You can really kind of revert back and see what's going on from a historical perspective. So another kind of default report I like to look at is just the spend metric in general. And so to change it, you just go hit by spend, and then you actually have to add the additional metrics back as well if you want to see those in the same report. But you'll see here, it's just going to change the orders and the sort order to dollar amounts based on spend, and then put the highest spend at the top. So one thing I've noticed with this report is sometimes you do have to do a refresh. It does take a lot of resources, and you can always hit exit pages and hit reload if you do get it to hang up a little bit right there, and it should drop you back in, and when we go back to it, it'll be formatted correctly. So that's how it should look when it's done. Doesn't always refresh quite right, but I'll hit 75%, and then I'm going to go back up and do add insights, daily metrics, add more insights, hit yes. All right, and then when it's done, you can see what it's done. It's basically telling us now the daily spend for each campaign, and you can see same type of thing. Like for this row, for example, for this campaign, I was spending about $30 a day, and then all of a sudden I'm not spending anything. So you could kind of troubleshoot that and see what's going on. For this one in particular, I know I was running out of stock and I paused that SKU, so that's what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the intent, is to be able to just see all of these key metrics kind of in one screen and get a really good visual indicator on certain days that are either performing really well or performing really bad, and trying to do more of what's working and less of what's not working. So hopefully that helps, and I will see you guys on the next video.